Ravi Batra is a senior attorney. He's an advocate. He's based in New York. Ravi Batra, good evening. He's joining us from our studios there. Ray Locker is National Security Editor of USA Today. Maruf Raza, Strategic Affairs Editor. K.C. Singh, former diplomat, former Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs. Gaurav Bhatia, lawyer, President of the legal wing of the SP and national spokesperson of the party. Thank you very much. Let's debate this. First of all, I want to say it's very disturbing what has happened. I'm going to open up the phone lines. I genuinely believe that this incident needs to be looked at, and it cannot be that a week has passed and nothing has happened in this incident. Mr. Ravi Batra, how long will this kind of racism continue against Indians so brazenly? And I'm really surprised today at the levels of hypocrisy in American society and politics and in public life that a case like this has been covered up. I mean, if an American citizen were to be beaten up like this when he would be out on a walk in Delhi or Mumbai, all of America would be up in arms. This happens to an Indian citizen, an unarmed Indian citizen who is out for a walk and is a victim of racism. He lies paralyzed in a hospital. I don't know if you've seen the pictures, Mr. Batra, but if you have, then you would consider A, the greatest act of inhumanity has been done to him. But a greater act of inhumanity is being done by the cover-up that's going on in America. Why was this case covered up in this way, Mr. Batra?
Okay. One, let me first heartfelt condolences to the family and certainly to Sureshbhai because what occurred to him should never occur to him anywhere in the country, in any country, let alone the United States. Now, as to your issue about racism, I just want to remind you and your viewers that United States loves Indian Americans enough that President Obama appointed Richard Raul Verma as America's ambassador to India.
I don't think he's doing any favor. No, that's irrelevant.
No, hold on.
That's totally irrelevant.
Hold on.
That's totally irrelevant what you just said.
However,
to this development, it's irrelevant, Mr. Batra.
No, it is. No.
It's irrelevant.
No. It is relevant because.
Why don't we talk about what happened in Madison?
Okay. So what happened in Madison is in a local municipality, and if the lawyers for the family don't do the case properly, they will lose. If they do it properly, if they do the case properly, they can win. But they got to go to federal court.
It's not about winning or losing the case, Mr. Batra. I'll come to that. No, 1 second. 1 minute. Just a minute, Mr. Batra. It's not about losing or winning the case. And Gaurav Bhatia wants to come in from Delhi. But Gaurav, before I come into, get you into the... It's not about winning or losing. I am asking you why this happens. An Indian man is out for a walk, unarmed. He's just walking on the road. Some crazy, paranoid American.
Should not happen.
1 minute, please. Some crazy, paranoid, probably racist American picks up the phone and says, "Brown man spotted. Mr. Policeman, please act." And immediately, Mr. White Policeman lands up out there and says, "Mr. Brown man, what are you doing here?" And the brown man says, let me complete. The brown man says, "I don't speak English." Then they say, "Put your hands up in the air." Right? They say, we do a pat down. They push the man down so hard. They thrash him so hard without any evidence of any guilt. I mean, this does not happen even, I would say even the most barbaric country, this kind of open racism would not happen. And the man now lies there. Tell me how would, I haven't heard of an incident when a white man would be treated like that. You want to come to our country, you want to do our business with us, you want to patronize us, and Obama has the gall to say that Gandhiji would be shocked at intolerance in India. Why does Obama not talk about this? One incident, Gaurav Bhatia wants to take you on, sir. He's also a lawyer from New Delhi. To Ravi Batra in New York. Go ahead, Gaurav.
Thank you.
Now, I think whatever has happened has put the entire country to shame. And I heard the panelists say that, the relatives of the victim should fight the case properly. I would say, sir, it's not a question of fighting the case. What action has been taken against the police officer? He should have been suspended forthwith. And he has not been suspended so far. And US calls itself a land of liberty. And here we see such kind of racism taking place against an Indian who has been paralyzed and he's hospitalized for no fault of his. I think the United States of America as a nation should rise to the occasion and should suspend the officer immediately and should take some drastic steps so that such an incident doesn't happen.
They say, they say, by the way, Gaurav, let me tell you how racist this incident has been. The paranoid, racist American, whoever called the policeman, because I think today America has become such a barbaric country that if you see a brown man on the streets, the white man, I'm sorry, Mr. Batra, that's how I feel. You see a brown man on the streets, you call the local
but you got to give me a chance to respond.
No, but
you got to give me a chance to respond.
Okay, I'll give you a chance to respond. I will give you a chance to respond, sir, but you tell me. You tell me today, sir, if an American citizen was...
That the first thing that the administration should have done was to suspend the police officer?
No, they haven't named the police officer. They are protecting the police officer. They are protecting the police officer.
Can I respond? Against him because this is...
Can I respond?
This is a blatant case of negligence.
I want our government to demand from these Americans...
May I respond?
One second, Mr. Batra.
Absolutely.
The Madison Police, our government, the Narendra Modi government, must demand from the Americans that the Madison Police has been sitting with the footage, audio and video of the incident since Friday. I want the footage. And if America will not give me justice, we'll go and take it to the highest courts. I want the footage. I want the names of the officers. We want. The footage of the incident is available. Mr. Batra, you are a lawyer. You tell me, why is the Madison Police not coming out and naming the attackers of Mr. Patel?
Hey, let him talk.
If you don't know how to fight, you don't get justice, okay? You cannot
know how to
fight. You cannot go to court. No, listen to me. Arnav, 1 second.
Mr. Batra,
hold on.
This is not about fighting.
You gotta give me
in the court.
Of course
what
it is.
action has the police taken against this erring police officer?
One second.
There is a case against the police officer. He is used excessive
Your
force.
statements are not your statements are inflammatory but not helpful.
What's inflammatory?
Now, here's what the problem is. Your statements are inflammatory and not helpful. The Indian American community has to get up, get matured, and stop taking pictures with politicians, and instead...
No,
I'm sorry.
Objectionable that you're saying.
Go to them
what do you
and
think
say, excuse
the
me,
Indian community
why,
should be
how
mature?
did you do this?
I think we've been mature enough to demand that the police officer should be suspended. There is no community more tolerant than the Indian community.
Sir, you tell me this.
This is objectionable.
You tell me this. You put this question.
That they should mature itself is very objectionable.
Sir, here's one point. You're a lawyer. Now, 1 second. Let's get Ray Locker also into this. Ray Locker also wants to come in. 1 minute. It's been 6 days. Ray, 1 second. Let's get the facts right. It's been 6 days.
Arnav, you called me. Okay. I didn't get a call from Alabama saying help us. I would help them. But they got a call. If you don't call, you get nobody.
Batra,
okay? There was an old movie called, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters?
Mr. Batra, let's examine the facts
Arnav,
now.
You're smarter than the people over here.
No, let's examine the facts one by one. Let's examine them very, very logically. My question to Ray Locker, because he was getting very angry that he said, let the man speak. He was angry that I was not allowing you, Mr. Batra, a chance to speak. I'd like to ask you, Mr. Locker, you know the facts of the case.
I'm in your debt.
No, please. 1 second. Maruf and Casey Singh, it's been 6 days. The Madison police have the footage of this incident on them. Why are they not coming clean on whether or not Mr. Patel was treading on private property before an altercation with the cops? He was on a walk.
I can help. Listen, I can help. Okay?
No, what was his crime?
I can resolve this.
No, there's nothing to be resolved. The man is lying paralyzed in a hospital. What's there to be resolved?
No. What's to be resolved? We want the police officer and the police department that made the police officer that made the terrible mistake of paralyzing an innocent man.
Mistake?
That person's got to be held responsible.
Your police are known racists.
No, hold on.
Your security forces, especially the whites among them, are completely racist. It is a known fact.
Listen.
Sir, the white policeman in America,
hold on a second.
Everyone in the world knows, sir, what the picture of the white American policeman is. We don't forget the chokehold of Eric Garner in New York. We don't forget the shooting of 12-year-old Tammy Rice in Cleveland. We don't forget what happened in Ferguson, Missouri, with the fatal shooting of Michael Brown. And we know all these incidents. Each and every one of these incidents, sir, with respect, Mr. Locker, was a white policeman in action.
No, that doesn't define us.
No, but the white policeman defines you, unfortunately, today, unless you put him behind bars.
That's what defines
you. Arnab,
why are you protecting that white policeman?
Arnab, I disagree.
So why do you protect the white policeman?
Arnab, what would define America is how they act against this erring officer. That would define the spirit of America. If they don't act, then their democracy and the liberty that they talk about is all shallow and is in words. And therefore they should act.
Listen.
It is important that if such an incident has happened, in fact, rather than sending the police officer on a leave, he should have been suspended. This is a criminal act that he is committed. It is sheer negligence.
I would like the local district attorney to investigate by a grand jury the police officer for criminal charges. Okay?
So the police is protecting him.
And
so the policeman, so the police is protecting him.
Against him. Why can't you suspend?
There are two
Can you not take departmental action?
Okay, 1 second, Gaurav Bhatia, bring in Ray Locker, please, and Maruf Raza now into the debate as well, along with KC Singh. KC Singh, yes, Ray, what do you have to say?
What's going to happen here is this is going to go through a process. It's obviously not fast enough to satisfy the people who are legitimately upset by what happened.
What process?
The officer has been suspended.
What process?
This video is going to come out.
The video has not been brought out.
Be criminal charges.
No, but
and the Patel. No, it has not yet, but it will be.
Why is it not out yet?
Just hold on.
Why is it not out yet?
It's.
What are they hiding?
Put it out, but
what are they hiding?
Force it out.
Because they don't know.
I think they're probably hiding what happened to poor Mr. Patel.
Why are they hiding it? Then what action? No, 1 second. Ray, counter question to you, Mr. Lokar, is if they're hiding what happened to poor Mr. Patel, and by the way, let me tell you this. I feel sorry for the Americans who did it. They're the ones who are poor, really. And I'm telling you this, Ray Locker, the fact is we all know in India, the kind of racial profiling that has been going on in the United States of America. Now, Mr. Locker, if Americans are paranoid, it's their problem. But Indians will not be the subject of American paranoia. My question to you, sir, Mr. Locker, is what was his crime? What was his crime apart from not speaking English and having brown skin?
There was no crime.
So any man, so 1 second, Mr. Locker, 1 second. No, Mr. Locker, I have brown skin.
Arnab,
no, Mr. Locker, I have brown skin. I go to America, I walk on go on the footwalk somewhere, right? And I am held by a policeman and I just look around. I happen to be looking around and some paranoid American picks up the phone and says, brown man seen walking around early in the morning, catch him. And then the policeman land up there. And if I'm not able to communicate back to the policeman in English, then the policeman will treat me exactly in the same way that they treated Mr. Patel. What image does that leave you of America today?
Oh, it's a terrible image. And I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying at all. I think that's exactly what happened. Is somebody who looked different from other people in the community aroused suspicions by somebody who was paranoid and called the police, and then went terribly wrong.
No, but after that hiding, after that hiding, and worse than that, Ray, and I'd like to get Maruf in, because it's not just a legal perspective we want of this. After that, and Maruf, the fact is that as far as the Americans is concerned, we do business with you, we want to be strategic, but you want to be strategic partners with us, and after that you treat our citizens in this way. Maruf, I'd like to bring to your attention one fact which was said by the police chief. His name is Larry Muncie of the Madison Police Department, and I want to put the pictures here as I speak to Maruf on this. He says taking immediate action would be reckless. He says taking immediate action, Maruf, he says, would be reckless. Was it not reckless, Maruf, for the police to use force to the extent of paralyzing a man? Was it not reckless, Maruf, for the police to use force without evidence of the subject not being armed? Was it not reckless, Maruf, that just because there was a communication barrier, the man could not speak English, he lies today in a paralyzed state?
You should be a lawyer, Arnab. You should be a lawyer.
I am not want to be a lawyer. I want.
But you should be.
No, Mr. Batra. No, Mr. Batra. I think what has happened is very unfair, and I feel very strongly about it. Maruf.
But listen.
No, Maruf wants to say something to you, Mr. Batra.
Mr. Batra, please let me make 4 or 5 quick points. The first is that it's a well-known fact that your policemen, especially in the cities of the United States, they can be very aggressive very quickly. I think they need to learn a lesson or two in the decency with which police operate from your cousins across the Atlantic, from the British police. The second point which I want to bring out is that America is a very insular society. In America, there is very little understanding, despite the fact that there is a vast population of people in America, hundreds of people, tens of millions of people who do not speak English, Latino speaking, Spanish speaking, all sorts of people who are there in America. And in this constituency, I believe 1 on 10 people who reside there are of foreign origin. And there are a number of people who do not speak fluent English in America, but I'm sure if they are white, they do not get this kind of treatment that this Indian citizen unfortunately was a part of. 3, the third point I want to make is that American troops have had a problem in Afghanistan and Iraq more recently because of their sheer arrogance with which they dealt with the local population. They were not able to understand local sensitivities, and that's why you ran into deep sand in both these countries, because you were unable to react to the situation based on the sensitivities of the local population. And finally, Mr. Batra, you are saying they should have called you and sought your assistance. Now, may I ask you, are you willing to offer them services for free, or like every other American lawyer wishing to charge them an arm and a leg? People may not be able to afford your fees. Please understand, in situations like this, American lawyers are not necessarily what a family would be thinking of. They would be thinking of seeking assistance from the normal recourse of law. And the law, unfortunately, is not supporting them. I'm sorry to say that, but America has to do some inward looking. America is not looking inside and pontificating to the world.
May I respond?
No, absolutely. And more than that, Maruf, if I may add, it's not just about legal services. I want Mr. Batra and Mr. Ray Locker to accept on the Newshour tonight the level of racism which has gone unchecked. And especially, Mr. Batra, you may be a very prosperous and, successful Indian lawyer, but let me tell you, there are many Indians out there who face this racism on a daily basis. We contribute to the American economy. We provide Americans jobs. We open up our market. We are your biggest defense importers. You make money from us. And then after this, and 1 second, when Obama came here, we gave more than his share of respect. He went back and preached about intolerance. My question is, sir, the story of Sureshbhai Patel.
This doesn't trickle down to the Americans. Americans are not conscious of what's happening in the world. They're very preoccupied with life on their high street. America has to look globally and become a global player and understand global sentiments. They cannot be centered around what is it to be an American, how to react to American things. America's police is traditionally known to be extremely high-handed, and this doesn't come as any surprise to me.
Absolutely. Yes, Ravi. Yes, Ravi Batra, you want to respond, please do. But please come to the moot issue of racism.
I accept the invitation not to charge the family a dime for helping them get full measure of justice, getting the police officer held responsible, having a criminal investigation started, and maybe even the police chief fired, okay? But you don't mind if I hold the government responsible for the services as added punishment. That's one. Second, you know, the geopolitics attack on the United States ought not interfere with this conversation because it's really off base. You know, United States...
No, sir, America has gone paranoid. Everyone knows that.
One second.
America has gone paranoid. America has gone paranoid. The whole world knows America has gone paranoid, sir. One second. It's only in a paranoid country, Mr. Batra. 1 second. Just
you can't do that, Arnab. You can't do that.
Small counter, Mr. Batra.
So second.
Okay.
Police officers and our firefighters were the ones who gave up their lives on 9/11.
Sir, I don't want
One second. One second. So they define our public safety every day. They take
bullets. You can let them do whatever racism they want to do.
One second. Lieutenant Brian Murphy in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, took 9 bullets to protect the Gurdwara.
I'm talking about Sureshbhai Patel.
I don't want to hear this
American, typical American story
racist across the board.
I don't want to hear this typical American
can be
story.
Racist.
I'm not interested. Sir, 1 second.
I don't buy this.
Sir, let me tell you. Let me tell you this. Now, let me tell you this.
You cannot accuse a country.
No, sir, I accuse you. I accuse you.
I have a few questions
I accuse you, your country, of allowing racism to go on unchecked. I do accuse your country of allowing racism to go unchecked. And by the way, if you feel, sir, that your officers have done a great job in defending your country, then by that same logic, will you allow American citizens to be beaten up and paralyzed on Indian streets by Indian policemen? We turn around to you when that happens and then say, by the way, these policemen defend my country. So what if there's a little bit of racism and human rights abuse?
I'm prepared to. I'm prepared to help Sureshbhai.
No, sir, it's not an isolated case.
That doesn't give you license.
I'd like to get Casey Singh on the debate, please.
This is silliness.
So it's not silly, sir. Your officers, your policemen, and I'm actually saying tonight, I am surprised that the entire Indian media should pick up this case tonight. And your officers have used...
Casey is a voice of wisdom.
So there's
I welcome Casey's voice of wisdom.
So 1 second. So Casey will certainly come in if you feel that he's going to be on your side. I'm absolutely certain that...
No, it's not about my side.
No,
it's about just being balanced.
So, of course...
You cannot become a lynch mob.
So Mr.
This show cannot become a lynch mob.
Mr. Batra, I'm not the lynch mob, your policemen are. Mr. Batra, let me tell you, don't say we're the lynch mob. You know who's the lynch mob? You know who's the lynch mob? The lynch mob are the people who did what they did in Chapel Hill. You want to know who the lynch mob is?
I agree.
The lynch mob are those who are responsible for the killing of Michael Brown in Ferguson. You know who the lynch mob is? The lynch mob are those who were responsible on the 8th December 2014 incident of the chokehold of Eric Garner in New York. The lynch mob, Mr. Lynch, don't call us the lynch mob. So we are an independent
press. Let's not combine this stuff.
No, sir.
Let's not combine this stuff.
The lynch mob are those people.
Don't combine this stuff.
The lynch mob are those people who shot at a 12-year-old boy put bullets in his stomach. So when he reached the hospital, he died. That's the lynch mob. And you don't want to act against that lynch mob.
I reject this America bashing.
This is not America bashing. This is racism in your country. If it embarrasses you, not my problem.
All right, so like every other country, we have mistakes.
But we fix them. Why are you covering up after that?
Mr. Batra.
Casey, I want to get Casey.
Can I just come in?
Okay, quick point from Gaurav Bhatia and then Casey Singh. Yeah. Yes, Gaurav, quickly, please.
Yeah. Mr. Batra, you said that the relatives of the victim should wait for some time. There is a Latin maxim, justice delayed is justice denied. And I think it equally applies in the United States of America. I think
I did not say that.
An interim measure has to be taken by the police administration. The police officer should be suspended and other things can follow.
Okay, phone lines are opening up in 2 minutes.
Let me tell you about the Indian criminal justice system. At least the judiciary here is alive, that they take suo cognizance of such incidents and then they ensure that action is taken against officers. So today, if you claim that America is a vibrant democracy,
sir,
around 1.2 billion Indians are
looking at Obama to open his mouth tonight.
Whether they will do justice to the Indian or not.
And so is India. And so is India a vibrant democracy.
And I want Obama to open his mouth tonight. Obama talked a lot when he was having that breakfast meeting. I want to hear it from Mr. Barack Obama tonight. I want to hear it from Barack Obama tonight. Let this go out to all the American media.
It is not a presidential issue. It's a local municipality issue.
I think the American media is nothing but cowardly if it does not have the courage to talk about this incident. The American media, the American networks, the American media needs to put this all out and make it the biggest story in America so that the people of America know what happened
to outer space, Arnab, you've gone into outer space.
Sir, Mr. Patel, 1 second. Let me tell you.
The American media is all over this.
Mr. Batra,
this is being amply reported.
Mr. Batra, Ray Locker, let me tell you. My question is, what is the need to keep all the evidence of the case hidden up under wraps to a degree that even the family of the injured victim does not know? The family of the injured victim does not know. The family of the injured victim does not know how their family member landed up in a hospital bed and how he ended up paralyzed.
I agree.
I just don't understand.
They're going to know.
It's a Casey Singh, please. Sorry to keep you waiting, Casey, for a long time.
But you have to know what to do. But get Casey. I want to hear Casey.
That's all right. Casey will come in on his own. Yes, Casey Singh, please go ahead.